What's up? This is David Palmer, the Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take the astrology deeper and deeper and deeper into the week. And what an amazing time to be an astrologer, because there hasn't been this much to happen all at once. So much that has been percolating to this extreme point. It definitely does not make being an astrologer boring. That's because there's so much happening. And that means that we are going through our biggest and our most extreme shift points right now. And this next 3 weeks, this week, next week we have a solar eclipse, and then the week after that is in between eclipses, which is usually extreme, even though we're already in extreme now. But then that following week after that, that fourth week will be the major close to what we're stepping into right now. And I hope you can hear me. It's kind of windy out here. I'm in the middle of the desert right now. And it's extreme times. That's because this week Mars is conjunct Uranus. It's going to square Pluto, and this is also trining Jupiter. And this is big doors swinging open with extreme things being blown down at the same time. You know, Pluto squaring Uranus is completing its big 3-year transit. This week is the last week of it officially. You'd think with so much, there'd be so much to say. But there's so much that it almost makes it hard to channel and say, because it is so extreme. On the simplest level, this is all of us going through our greatest shift points internally and making shifts that are exciting, scary, and it can become so extreme on the nervous system, so extreme on the soul, so extreme just overall in our emotions, and we are having to find courage in the newest ways and let go of these old, habits, these old ways that are just no longer serving us anymore. And this is the time to leap and to jump for what you want. Mars is trining Jupiter. This does not happen. Mars, when it's in its natural sign of Aries, wants to move and take action. And when it comes into an awesome trine with Jupiter and Leo, which wants to expand the heart and go with its greatest glory, this is about us going for our greatest glory. But we have to jump. It's squaring Pluto. We have to jump. We have to face deep, deep fears. We have to let go of concrete that we've embedded ourselves in and jackhammer out of it. Uranus wants to jackhammer out. Free itself. Let's go. I gotta get out of this. It's just like, woo! This is all while Mercury is slipping into Pisces this week, which means the logic goes to off. Mercury's been in Aquarius for over a month, longer than normal, with a deep retrograde through the whole sign. Mercury, when it enters Pisces, is at its worst position because it doesn't make sense things. Logically. Spiritually, they do. Emotionally, they do. Listening to guides and so forth. But this week is going to bring about abrupt and radical changes into your life that might not logically make sense, but spiritually make sense. So that's kind of extreme. What else do we have this week going on? The main one is this Mars energy. The other is that we're getting ready for, the sun is going to square the moon this week in Sagittarius and Pisces, which is belief structures and being confused coming together. What is the right direction? It can become a little all over the place. The moon's in Scorpio coming into this week, unveiling our real feelings and then shooting off into space with no real, direction maybe, which can be like, whoa, this is crazy. It is crazy. And then it's all going to be this moon coming into Capricorn by the end of the weekend, squaring everything in Aries that wants to go. This is also Venus getting ready to come into Taurus, which Venus needs to finish up here in Aries, where it can't wait to get into Taurus. But Venus coming into Taurus is about to stabilize things and really make us manifest our true worth and our true understanding of where we should go. So this is a week where we start to make some big jumps. It is the solar eclipse next week in Pisces that's going to finalize a lot of this. A lot of extra breaths for right now. A lot of wanting to go hide. The sun's still in Pisces, but there's no way to. I've been telling you guys since, a couple weeks ago, we are forced into issues we don't want to be in. A sun in Pisces and a Mars in Aries is a hard position. Because we have to come from outside of our most deepest spiritual hideouts and take some sort of leap towards where we must go. And that can be kind of hard, that can be extreme. But Jupiter's here through this whole thing. Nothing's going to go wrong. Nothing's going to go bad. We're supported. We are tremendously supported. And Jupiter's still retrograding, so these are just building blocks towards a greater leap. But it's almost like you have to be willing to make a leap towards something extreme already, which will then build on top of that even more extreme. So our perceptions, especially because Saturn goes retrograde this week, oh my gosh, I almost forgot about that. People are probably watching this like, is he going to remember Saturn's going retrograde this week? It's almost like we're at this, the time is ending, the stop signs are here, we've got to do something. And by this weekend, when Saturn goes retrograde, we're not climbing anymore. We're having to stop. We're having to reassess. But this is about our journey, and so I think that people are going to make crazy changes now, this week, before Saturn goes retrograde. So this is going to bring about a lot of intensity, almost borderline manic. And we have to just release and let go and know that we're divinely guided with all this. We're going to have to know we're divinely guided. We're going to have to trust in that. We're going to have to find ways to stay in balance. We're going to have to do things that we've never done before. We're going to have to try things we've never tried before. And that is scary to get through this week, to get to these new zones. But these are extreme new chapters coming. This is extreme, changing over of things in our lives. Because we can no longer do it anymore. We have to break free now. We have to let go of the old ways. I love this place where I'm at right now. If you can see where my truck is here, they've got shoes that are all strung up. I think this used to be a gas pump back in the 50s, and it's gone now. There's a train back there too, and that's stopped. But I use this marker place for this horoscope because sometimes things just end. And we move on to newer waters and to newer energies and newer gas stations. And in many ways, we're out here in the middle of nowhere right now. But maybe we've all been in nowhere for a while, and we need to really go where we're supposed to go. It could feel like we're leaving nowhere. I left my truck running too. But, you know, it's a vulnerable time. Although I think we've gone through the most vulnerable part, I think this is where we really have to do something about it. To make the great change, the universe is forcing us all to make it. You can't stand behind on this one. If you're trying to stand behind and not do anything or not jump or not leap or not make the change, you will be forced, I guarantee you it. And this runs for 4 weeks. And this is just the kicker, but this is the beginning. We're in between, we're ready for some big eclipses here, as there's an eclipse brewing right now as I'm talking. So, don't be afraid to go. Don't be afraid of fears. This is you re-identifying your life and being afraid to take off a costume that you might not have even liked wearing so much and putting on a new one that could be scary and going out into the act and having to come out from behind stage and expose and do what you must do. So, thank you all for the support. I'm with you through this one. I wish I could give something much more powerful to tell you, but this is very rare. And you know, I mean, I love to just sit there but it's almost so much even for me and being a channeler and channeling it and how much it is, it's overwhelming as a channeler. I know why Bashar closes his eyes now when he channels. Or, you know, Daryl Anka, because being I've been realizing that I've been channeling with my eyes open, and that is gnarly. That's not easy to do. And there's parts of the time when I just want to close my eyes and just let it all out. But there's a part of me that keeps my eyes open for some reason. But we all have to be very awake right now, very aware that there's a big closing door happening right now that is extreme. And this is the entrance to the new age that already began, but we walked into nothing. Now we've built something, but we all have to actually go into the new entrance we've all built. So, welcome. It will be great on the other side, but to get in will be a little bit crazy. Thanks so much for all your support, guys. Join me on my apps if you want to get my daily horoscopes and get my sun sign horoscopes and so forth. It's all on my apps on Apple and Android, or you can subscribe, leoking.lookstack.com. And if you want to get a reading from me, you can, of course, join me on my website, inclusiveastrology.com. Thanks so much for all the support, guys. I'm with you through this one. Whew. And I'll see you on the next one.